Party animals, like and subscribe if you want your stud to drain threes all night. Here's how this works. I am in the randomness demo first, so you guys can see how randomness works first, number one, and then we'll get into range of outcomes and how to kind of account for this in FC, right? So we hear the term standard deviation, variance, what else do they call this? Now we call it randomness in FC. There's a million ways to kind of range of outcomes. There's a million ways to kind of name this or give this a term, right? An actual name. So how randomness works in FC, right? And so here's my FC that I'm pulling up now, and here is randomness, this at the bottom, right? And there's two types, classic randomness, and for those of you that you think you're gonna copy me and go 44,000, I was trying something with the old randomness just to have something in there first, right? So classic randomness, and we could see both types here. Classic randomness is the old randomness, not the old randomness, it's just the non-pro randomness, which is pretty much how everyone else has randomness, and it's just a range, and it is randomly going to pick between that range whatever number it feels like. It's truly random, and that's what it's going to use per player every single lineup it makes, right? Whereas the normal distribution randomness, the pro randomness, it's going to treat randomness like a distribution curve. It's going to have whatever your projection is in the middle, and the closer it is to the projection, the more times it's going to use that, and as the further it gets away, both negative and positive, it's going to use that a little bit less, but it's still going to use them. So in order to better see that, we have a projection of 50. I am going to just pretend we have randomness of 10 for this guy, and we're going to use just 50 lineups in this case, right? So we're going to simulate this, and in the old randomness, or we'll call this the simple randomness. Here it is, simple randomness. This is the way everyone in the industry kind of has used it now. It is literally since we have 50 and 10%, that would be from 45 to 55. You see that here, from 45 to 55. And it's randomly going to choose anywhere in between. So it could choose probably, if it felt like using 40 or 55, the same amount it felt like using 44, it could. And the more times we do this, the random, it's just completely random. This chart is going to be, for the most part, almost evenly spread between those 45 and 50 or 45 and 55 range, but it's just going to be truly random. One time it could be good, the other time it could be bad. It's somewhere, it's completely random, right? Shots of DR and RG? No, because we used to have it like this too. And we noticed that it wasn't correct. Or not, it wasn't that it wasn't correct, it wasn't the best way of using that, right? So we evolved, we tried to make it better, try to replicate what actually happens, right? So if you were to go down here, this is the pro randomness, right? And all we did with this was kind of model it after a normal distribution. That's all we did, right? So we have, in this case, 10% of 50. You'll have 50 right down the middle. And most of the time, it'll use something really close to 50. Whereas the farther away it goes, it'll use it less and less. The farther away it goes, it'll use it less and less, right? So to better illustrate this, I am going to use 20%, right? And you will see right here exactly what it is. 50 here in the middle. The farther you get away, the low number of times it'll use this. And same this way, right? And to get an even better explanation, in this little scrolly thing, you'll see exactly the projections that were used. So it used 45, 3 times. It used 46 twice. 47, they used a little bit more. 48, it used a lot more. 49, it used way more. 50, right around 50, it used so much. And as we go to the other side, 50, 51, it used a ton. 52, it used a little bit less. 53, even less. 54, barely any. And that's how the distribution works. If you guys don't know what this is, search normal distribution on Google. That plain chart that you didn't understand throughout high school, now you understand it a little bit better. Finally, you use it, because in no other industry or thing I've ever used in my entire life has this been applicable until right now in my 38th year of life. Whew, man, you're a fast thinker. 38th year of life. Great job, kid. Anyway, we continue. So that is normally how randomness works in FC, right? That's how randomness works in FC. Yeah.